Jeremy? Alright, cool. Yeah, here we go. We're gonna hang. Do a little warm-up action. I didn't play any guitar today. Do some warm-up action. Play the next one. Here we go. Yeah. Cool. All right, all right, all right. Why is that not... Why are you being weird? You shouldn't be. Should be good. There we go. This microphone is dirty. How do you get fuzz and mess off of microphones? Yeah. Nice little jaunt there through Junktown. A good one. What is it? Change your mind from your... Oh, yeah. Use tape. Cool. Cool. Yeah, Q&A time. Cue them up. So I've been working on the studio, trying to get the aesthetic now that everything's working well. Trying to get the aesthetic right in here, and just overall improve the quality of living within the Woodshed here, because what you see behind me is nice. Like it's good. Like this whole shot is nice. You know, if you scroll up here, there's nice stuff over here. There's guitars over here. About that direction, it's a mess. So I'm trying to improve those things for my own sanity, keep myself happier as I play and live in this new room a lot. I think mental state and flow of happiness is so important. I mean, it's really like an understatement, right? Like it's really all about that happiness and that flow and that mental state. I'm going to open up my Patreon here, and those guys, all you Patreon members, man, love you. Thank you for supporting the channel. That's how we keep the community going. What I'm going to do is open up the Q&A section that I've got going. I've got a post over there on the main page that is frequently asked questions, and I'm going to scroll down and just take a gander at some of those and let those things dictate what happened on today's episode of the Woodshed. So what's really great is, you know, if you are interested in the Patreon thing, man, I just got like thousands of posts. It's over 1,000 posts now. It's not thousands. I don't have 2,000 posts. But I have over 1,000 posts on there. They're ranging everything from our weekly live masterclass that we do on Wednesdays, which is a blast, to things like the Jack Butler. I'm seeing where I posted the Jack Butler Steve Vai patch for the Axe Effects. And, you know, it's all kinds of things, all kinds of goodies. So looking here for there's the Dan Huff fractal preset. Looking for the questions. There it is. And I have found it. Okay, cool. Load the comments. Give me the questions. Load them up. Load them up. Question 1. This is from my man Jay. Jay says, as I'm digging in more when picking on overdriven tones, I notice that straight up clean tones don't sound as good with this approach. All transient and immediate decay. Should I be digging in on clean tones or doing something different? This is a great question. Great question on digging in on the drive tones. Like I really dig in. I want these notes to be nice and articulate, even with legato. I want all those notes to pop. One more time. Like even with all that legato, I want everything to pop and sound nice and clean. Now, I'm not overplaying, but I'm I'm definitely playing with confidence when it comes to a picking thing. Just take the fives thing, the EJ thing. To me, that's where the tone comes from. When you play too light, I hear more. You hear all that weird big noise versus there I hear more note. Now when I go to a cream tone, I'm definitely playing to the tone, right? So if I play really light, I start hearing the pick wobble. I hear this thing. I hear the pick falling. That's like a really light grip that I don't think sounds good versus tightening that grip just a sniff. That gives me that definition I want. And that also gives it to me on each tone. Different pickup selection. So I'm looking for an even tone that sounds great on each pickup. Each pickup, no matter what style of kind of delivery of the strings that I'm getting. So no matter how I'm delivering the notes, no matter which pickup selector I'm on, Yep. Like I feel good about this delivery. Each pickup sounds good. If I dig in more. Yep. I want every note and every tone to sound great. So I'm focusing really with my ears and trying to deliver the velocity correctly. I'm altering my muscle structure and the information from my brain to my hand based upon the sonic quality of it. This is going to get really heady and really wordy and a bit hippie. So you've been warned. But my technique is dictated upon the sonic characteristic of each note. Yeah. So to answer the question, how hard are you digging in on your clean tone versus your dirt tone? You really play to the tone, right? Let me get an in-between sound. This has got more high end in it. I'm really getting the dig to get it to chirp. I'm arguably digging in a little harder on this tone because that's where the chirp is. Yeah, it's really a universal kind of thing. I'm really zoned in to the quality and the attitude and the note tone, and I'm trying to let the right hand deliver that using my ear as like almost a barometer. Like how hard I need to hit the strings actually is less dependent on the strings themselves and more dependent on the tone that I want to hear out of my ear. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Is that way too trippy of an answer? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Let's get deep in the weeds. Mark Kirby says, question. Hi, Mark Kirby. I saw the old Marshall on stage in your New York video. Did you happen to bring the Eric Johnson, or was that a backline situation? No, I did not fly with the Eric Johnson, nor would I. I would not trust that amplifier to American Airlines or Delta or any of those goobers. No way. No offense, but you know who you are if you sling people's stuff when you load the plane. You know who you are. Don't do it. It's stupid. It doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't make your workday go faster to break people's stuff. It doesn't. So, no, I did not take that Marshall. However, the Marshall that I was playing through has a very cool story. It's a 73, I think, 72 maybe. Marshall that used to belong to John Shanks. It belongs to Ryan, a friend of mine, friend of Seth's up in New York, and allowed us to use it. I used it loud and clean, as one does. Not using the amp for gain. So, yeah. Sacred City says, it was an honor meeting you in New York and having you sign my gearbox. The show rocked. My friend I brought was blown away by your playing, and he's a bit of a snob. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate you being there so much. Like, it really means a lot to me that you came and hung out, and we got to shake hands and meet. Yeah, man, super cool. All you folks that made the trip out and got to hang out at the show is really, really awesome. So John Marlega says, since you're an alumnus of the Petrucci Forums, did you work through rock discipline, or were you already beyond most of that? I don't like the word beyond, first of all, because John Petrucci, there is no getting beyond John Petrucci. That is, that doesn't exist. However, I do know what you mean. And due to my nature of my background of playing a lot of fiddle tunes, bluegrass music, I took to it quite easily, quite naturally. When you have a fiddle tune that's navigated, those kind of tunes have a lot of inside and outside picking, especially on the cross picking. So when it comes time to do a John Petrucci-ism, time for those things, I'm a bit built in and ready to go. Yeah, it's a little bit more natural. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of there. I didn't have to really alter the equation too much to get that thing to start working. So let's hit another one from Patreon. Another Patreon question. Rick Atkinson says, getting your whiskey barrel humbucker signature model, sir, in the next couple of weeks. What's the difference between the woodbucker and the thornbucker? Great question, Rick. This one goes out to Rick. What's the difference between the woodbucker, which is here, and the old thornbucker? I think woodbucker's a sniff higher output, but it doesn't feel hotter. The woodbucker is Alnico 2 magnet. The thornbucker is a traditional patent applied for kind of Gibson kind of pickup, less polish. The Gibson pickup is a little more airy and a little less thick sounding, whereas the woodbucker is a very thick kind of tone. Like my tone, my favorite lead tone is very much like. You know, it translates to the single coils too when you split them. It's nice and thick sounding, you know. I don't like really tiny guitar tones. I like big guitar tones. But that sounds nice though. That's the number one difference I would think is the PAF, the Pete Thorn pickup is a little more airy sounding, a little closer to a single coil in tone. I've always said that a really great Les Paul sounds like a fat telly. A really great Les Paul has almost a single coil kind of thing going on. That is for my man Rick. Bill Long, do you have any chromatic licks to show to avoid the pentatonic scales? Do you have examples of passing tones through your solos? I mean, Lord of mercy. I'm slipping and sliding through half steps all the time. I kind of looking at it. Let's just take some stuff. Like if I've got something in the key of C. I mean, even just, I was subconscious this in, but like, you know. So like when you're trying to avoid the rock thing, maybe don't put your flat 5 on the 3rd string of the pentatonic. Don't put it there, because that sounds really rock. Put it back here. And it gives you a more, you know, almost jazzier flavor. Right? So the next thing I would do is expand how wide the box is. So instead of just thinking 2 notes per string, maybe think of it 3 notes per string. See how it kind of gives it a flavor that's different. There's your chromatic. I mean, gosh, any note is available if you can sell it. You know, that's not really an inside note. Flat 9, but if you go, then kind of leads to that 4 chord nice, right? That's kind of looking at every time I have a third playing 2 minor 3 3. Yeah. It's also like playing in between the notes and realizing that you got ammunition that lies in between each note, right, as you bend it. There you go. Yeah, that kind of thing. That's like looking at 4. So, like, to me, the chromatic thing ends up being wider than just this. Or just this. That's all just, like, simple chromatics versus looking at everything as enclosures. You get really outside with it. As long as you sell the resolution, that's really all that matters. Okay, sliding around. I'm going to give you one from the chat here. Someone recommended a Friedman Small Box 50 head. I was wondering if you have an opinion on it. I'm doing standard, classic, rock, variety. Also, what's a good 212 cab for it? Let's do the cabinet first. My favorite cabinet, shocker, because there's 2 right here, is the Mesa 212 cabinet. It just sounds sick. Just a great sounding cabinet. Love the way that cabinet sounds. Got my first one from Matt Wantland from the band 10 Years. Years and years and years ago. Probably 10 years ago. And then, of course, Andy Timmons uses those cabinets as well to great success. They're awesome. The Small Box 50 head is fantastic. I think you'll be super happy. I would probably run a pedal board very similar to my Skank Banger Van Halen board, where it's just you got the delay and the loop, and you just kind of go to work that way. Sacred City, sign up for Patreon. Wow, there's a lot there. Yes. If you sign up for my Patreon, there's 1,000 posts there. It is bonkers how much content is over there. So you're not going to get through it in a day or two. That's for sure. Howdy Deconfuse. Cheers. Howdy Bob. He says your right hand is unreal. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was all from that bluegrass thing, right? Andy, do you have any tips for 1 note per string alternate picking? Big fan. Love your lesson materials. Greetings from Sweden. Cheers to Sweden. Hope you guys are doing well. When you're talking 1 note per string, it's really an arpeggiation format, right? Let me give you one of my tips that I'm using right now in real time. The famous 1 note per string. I've been playing too many notes at clinics, the Steve Morse tune. And the really daunting section is the B section, right? That thing. And it moves around. Right? So when I'm playing sitting down, I can do those pretty good. I can do this pretty good without too much trouble. When I stand up and the guitar drops, it really hurts my right hand. So I've been using down, up, down, middle for when I'm standing up. And I get it clean too. Woo! Yeah, you see what I mean? It's like, and it's really important to me when I'm practicing. Practice standing up. You have to play this stuff standing up. You're not always just going to be with your butt in your chair, sitting in the comfort of your own home. You've got to practice the stuff standing up. And for me, I discover new problems the moment the guitar drops. Because right now, look how high it is. Dude, this is up around my neck. I'm comfy. You know, I can do all the superhero stretchy tappies. They're all right here for me. I mean, like the things that are, all those crazy licks are available to me. I don't have really large mittens either. I don't have these huge, long Paul Gilbert, Guthrie Govan fingers. I have to deal with what I've got. And a lot of it means that I have to, when the guitar drops, things are going to get a little harder to play. So, yeah, that's really a big one. So just walking through that again, if you're alternate picking 1 note per string, like I was doing some arpeggios earlier that were 1 note per string, very much the same kind of thing as the 2 meaning notes thing. Let's just take a C, add 9. Take that and as you play it, play root, 5th, 9, 3rd, or 2, if you want to call it that. 1, 5, 2, 3, 1, 5, 9, 3, whatever. Play down, up, down on the first 3 notes. So first, then the 5th of the chord, and then the 9. So that's down, up, down. And now add the middle finger for the top. So down, up, down, middle. It puts it in a triplet too. And you can really get the tempo pretty bonkers. Right? Like if I'm playing double time, so that's like, let's try to creak it up. Max it out, fast as it'll go. It's really crazy. Huh. That's about the tempo of 2 meaning notes, right? It was right there. Yeah, make it minor. Major. Yeah. That's a tip for playing across one note per string, I would think, is like down, up, down, middle. That's also like the beginning of Truth and Lie. That's really hard to play. Especially at tempo. So if we hear that at tempo, let's see. Come on. Where are you at? Where's my backing track? Remember, it's down, up, down, middle. Down, up, down, middle. Down, up, down, middle. Right? So on and so forth through the solo. So, great example of like that. Kind of the same way to, again, focusing on the tone of the notes. I want that chirp. Yeah. What are your favorite speakers? Man, that's a great question. Favorite speakers right now. I've always liked classic lead 80s. I've always liked the Celestion G1265 in my old deluxe that's right there. I like the gold, the Celestion Gold, and the new one that Celestion makes is really killer. It's a red back, I think. And it's kind of like a EV12L, like that really robust, round, full spectrum kind of thing, with a little hint of that 65. And I love it. I'm thinking about there's one of these cabinets has the redbacks in it. The other has a classic lead 80s. I'm thinking about putting the redbacks in both of them. Really, really great stuff. How do you use the fuzz pedal? Amazing pedal from Brazil. It's the G&I. Let me show you. So I'll pull up a lead tone. Really nice and creamy and full. Now, around the 12th fret of the guitar is really the sweet spot for the G&I, and I'll add the fuzz in front of it. I use it on Shoot the Sun Down. I also use it on Rooster, you know, for the chorus. This is what I'm playing. Yeah. Yep. Really kind of that thing. And it just adds that beautiful little octave to the top of it. All right, let's get some more questions here from Patreon. Remember, kids, Patreon exclusive stuff. Patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic will get you in this kind of thing. That's the Chromatic answer back a few questions ago from Bill. How do you visualize the fretboard? This is from Brock. It's from Brock Sirico. This could be a whole episode. How do you visualize the fretboard? For me, it's trying to imagine that the guitar runs indefinitely in each direction. And I'm not trying to find boxes and shapes, even though that I know those things exist. I do see boxes and shapes, but that's not the priority. The priority is that if I see in the key of A, root, 3, 5, 7, root, all on one string. Like, look how far that is. That's 7 to root. That's a long way. Most of the time people see that and they go, it's not that far. That's actually a long distance on the fretboard. So looking at things diagonally is really nice. So if I'm going to look at something like a Free Range Chicken has this raised fourth sound. Or not raised fourth, but like a sus4. I'm going to look at that in 3 octaves. Like that. Sorry. So if I see this, I know it's going to be here. So I'm seeing the 3 octaves in a diagonal shape. Now I want to see it that way too, right? Diagonal. So no matter where I'm at, I've got an availability, I've got an escape route. Excuse me, so sorry. The last thing I'll say, fretboard visualization, is I'm trying not to tie a specific finger to a note. I want to have availability to where if E is on the fretboard and it's at the 9th fret, then it can play with any finger. And depending on which finger I'm going to play it with will depend on the freedom that I have in either direction to go, right? So if I play with my first finger, I want to be more likely to move this direction. Now, if I'm playing it with one of these fingers, I'm going to be down here, right? And like this is going on. That's all just more like that rolling, cascading kind of thing. But like that's how the freedom of E minor pentatonic doesn't equate to this. Then I have to stop and go to another position where I'm comfortable. Then I have to stop and go to another position. Like that seems really segmented, right? And I want a really fluid approach to the fretboard. Little housekeeping here. Late as the hour, Gandalf the Grey. Little housekeeping here. Woodshed Guitar Experience coming up in August. Victor Wooten's coming. You want to get your mind blown out the back of your head? Victor Wooten will be there. Going to be incredible. Got some special guests that we're still announcing. Obviously, Steve Morse. Holy baloney. The GOAT. Well, you got to be somebody special if John Petrucci says, yeah, man, that was my guy. Right? Like, Steve Morse is everybody's guy. When Jimmy Herring says, that's my guy, Steve Morse is my guy. When Ian Thornley goes, yeah, Steve Morse is my guy. Like, he's my guy too. It's like, Steve Morse is coming to Woodshed. Can't wait for that to happen and spread the wisdom. It's going to be really amazing. Like I said, Victor Wooten, Tom Quayle, you want some fusion? You want some fusion in your diet? Dave Beebe's coming. Get some of that. Get tag teamed by those monsters. Ariel Poson's going to be there delivering delightful slide tactics. Get your slide guitar playing chops. Let me be a myth buster here too. You don't have to be a monster to come here. Woodshed, we've got about 35 slots-ish available. And it's not reserved for the elite. I would say most of the players are weekend warriors that come and do it. It's not a elite thing. It's just a great 4-day weekend experience. WoodshedGuitarExperience.com. Get in there. Jeremy Donovan says, can't wait getting on to Patreon for your birthday. Get on there, Jeremy. Put in your requests for the content. Remember to sign up at the combo tier or higher. We'll get you access to our weekly live masterclasses. That's tomorrow night. Weekly live masterclass. 4 of those a month. Dude, that's so much free time. What is that? 8? That's 8 hours a month in masterclasses live. So yeah, it's a good deal. It's my best deal for sure. Megamouth is in the house. He says, Andy Wood, holy brother. The wide range of musical influences they're all party playing is like nothing I've ever seen. Love the range of your style. Cheers, my friend. Cheers, Megamouth. Thank you so much. Just bought the Woodshed. Have the Koji. Wow, what a difference when running distortion out of the car. Yeah, it's really nice, especially just a little bit of gain after the Woodshed compressor. Little bit of gain. Shout out to the Pedal Show. Dan and Mick, if you see this, I'm repping it. Love you guys. Here we go. Do not sound good except for clean. Where do you put your Woodshed pedal? To me, the Woodshed pedal is it's first, and then I run gain after it, and I don't run a lot of gain after. I mean, like the most gain I run would be, you know, here's the Andy Timmons mod pedal. That's with the Woodshed. That sounds great. Pantheon. This is the most gain I would run after it. Clean, Woodshed comp clean. Very self-explanatory there. Really pretty. Really, really, really pretty. Does everyone bring their gear to the Woodshed Guitar Festival? Dustin Chang is in the house asking about that. You can bring guitars. We have plenty of amps. You can bring what you like. I always say it like this. Bring whatever you want. You don't have to bring anything. We've got more than enough to go around. We've got guitars. And when I say we've got guitars, I mean like we got Sirs and PRSs and we got guitars, right? Bring your pedal board if you want to. You don't have to. We got all kinds of pedals. Not needed to bring anything. Bring what you want. But yeah, he says, since there's clinics and master classes and all that, I think the thing is just make sure that if you're not going to bring a guitar, reach out to us, make sure that there's a guitar on property, which I know there will be. But yeah, bring a guitar and have your guitar in class. You know, what we don't do in the mini classes is have everybody plugged up to amps. That's a bit more for one area of the facility where we've got all the amps in one room. And the facility's huge, man. It's really beautiful. It's on a lakefront property. We've got 5 breakout rooms or 4 breakout rooms, 2 main stages, vendor hall, all of that stuff. It's really, really great. Really great. Okay, we're going to sign off here in just a couple of minutes so I can get to work on some other things that I need to get done. Wes Smith says, Andy, just picked up a gearbox. I took your approach and said that mids and treble low to start. Killer, smooth, dark tone. Yeah. You know, I run the treble and the bass at about noon. And then the mids is what I use to control the top end. The mids is not really like a mids, like scooping mids. It's more like taking one specific harsh mid frequency and pulling it out. Mario Brandon says, what string gauge do you use? Okay, that's a multifaceted answer. On Floyd Rose guitars, I tend to use 9.5 to 44. On guitars that have like Gibson scale length, I use 10 to 46. On Fender scale length, I use 9 to 46 with the headstock that goes this way. When the headstock's reversed, I just use 10s. But when the headstock's that way, I use 9 to 46. Larry Lyon says, what day are you going to be at the Guitar Festival in Dallas? That's a great one. Dallas International Guitar Festival coming up in May. Looking forward to that big time. That is going to be right around the corner. Holy cow. It really is. And that's going to be flying in on Friday, playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I think that's it. Sounds like a beautiful dream weekend. It is. Outside of that, kids, I want to leave you with this. Practice standing up. Definitely do it. You're going to feel like a goober. So make sure that the door's shut in your practice studio, in your room. Don't let your wife or kids come in and see you practicing standing up. But you're going to want to practice standing up. That actually helps me understand my right hand to left hand technique fluidly, because I'm not going to play sitting down. I'm going to play standing up. I think that's a big one. That's a big takeaway from today. Also, the big takeaway from today is when you're working on your right hand technique, use your ears. Dial your velocity in with the tone that you're getting out of the guitar. Like if you're looking for a better tone, don't just brute force your hand and try to fix the tone with controls. Here's the biggest tone control you've got. Look, that's the one right there. If you want something bright or dark, that's a velocity thing. Now, of course, you can shape it with pedals and amps, guitars and stuff, but really it's like if you get on an acoustic guitar, that's what you sound like. An acoustic guitar is the magnifying glass. So if you don't like your tone because it's muddy, play an acoustic guitar. If you sound muddy, it's not the gear. It's what you're giving it. Same way, if it sounds tinny and shrill, play an acoustic guitar. See what you actually sound like. This is it. Dennis Ferreira says, I discovered your work last week. I'm studying Junktown. Thank you very much. Your sound has inspired me to study more. Cheers. Cheers, Dennis. I appreciate those kind words, man. And if you're looking for any assistance on learning my material, and you want backing tracks or transcriptions, that's going to be available at andywoodmusic.com in the lessons section. andywoodmusic.com. That's some additional lesson material, Again, guitar profiles, tablatures, transcriptions, all that stuff is available over there. Yeah, Chuck just tagged it right there. Thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate you far more than you realize, and we'll see you soon.